I am an absolute mess today. No, just edit that bit out. Hello again. What have we got for you today? We have got some tidying up. We have got some harvesting of purple sprouting broccoli in February. It's the last week of February, and we're still harvesting vegetables from the garden in winter. So lots of things happening as well behind me, but I'll show you that next time, not this week. And a few little catch-ups of what else we've got. We've bought in a few new plants. So yeah, let's get into that. It's that time of the year now where the purple sprouting broccoli is giving us loads of little shoots, sprouts. That one, I've just harvested all of them off that one to make sure it keeps giving me some more sprouts. There we go. So that will be lovely. Either steam them or batter them. There's some more here ready to go, so that'll give me some for next week. They can stay on there till then, and by then, 2 weeks time, hopefully there's more on that one, so I can swap between the two of them. So it's why it's great to have more than one plant, because you can intercrop, and we don't have them more than just once a week. There's loads of other things we can have. So there's the sprouts for tonight. I pulled up accidentally a tiny little carrot, still good. And then I took some cuttings from this plant. I've put them in some compost. I've put rooting hormone in because I know I don't need it, but in my garden it's always a good guarantee to have it. So that's where they'll go, in the potting shed, and I will have some new purple sprouting broccoli without having to sow them, because I will sow a few seeds, just a few, because I don't need more than 3 plants in my entire garden, because I use the leaves as well, like cabbage or kale. Well, a bit more kale than cabbage. And then of course I also still have these beautiful little Savoys. If you remember, I cut the original off there, and the side sprouts kept going, and they're now giving me small little cabbages, but I'm using the leaves. Well, let's take off the nasty ones here, but I'm still using the leaves in soups and stews. Yeah, so they can still be used as I'm taking other leaves off, to take the more mature leaves off, and it'll keep growing like that. So I've got 3. This one needs tying in. Oh, they all do. Oops. Yeah, I'm gonna have to tie them in to keep them from lolling about a bit. But yeah, that's my second crop of Savoy off the first one. I wonder if I could sprout a cutting of that one. You never know. But there you are. And I have my row of dandelions deliberately planted there for harvesting, because I eat the leaves and the flowers and the roots. So for me, dandelion is a crop, and they normally like compact soil, but they struggle to grow in my garden. There's some there. I have some in there. There's not enough of them. Ooh, there's flowers. Oh my gosh, there's some dandelion flowers, but I won't pick them yet. Look, the little narcissi. Beautiful. Lots of things are coming in. Oh yes, look. Like I said before, oh look. I don't know what these two are. I think they're peach, but they could, well, more likely nectarine, because that's the fruit we usually eat more of than peaches in this house. I could very well have planted some almonds that might have sprouted, because I soak the almonds before eating them to make sure that they're healthier and they have less of those nasty enzymes. So I might very well have planted a couple of the almonds if they were sprouting, and I just thought, well, if they're sprouting and they want to grow, I'll put them in. I don't remember, but it's more likely to be nectarines, I hope. But if I remember correctly, when I transplanted them from the pot they were in into a bigger pot, I was sure the seeds looked more like apricot or almond, but I don't remember. We will see when they grow, if they grow. And hopefully, I mean, they've been lovely under here because it's sheltered. This is still part of the south facing part of the garden. And look at the passion fruit. That has been evergreen all year. That has been evergreen, so I'm going to be putting more wires up there to train them along. Yeah, the kiwi, oh, it's looking a bit sad, but look. So I shall find out where all the new sprouts are, and I will cut it back to the new sprouts. And the kiwi does need a pretty hard pruning. So when I see new ones, I'll cut back the old growth. And the grapes have got some buds on them as well. Yep, the grapes have got a few buds on as well. So they are showing promise. There's a new bud there. Right there. So yeah, they're showing promise for a little bit later, probably about May before we see anything. This Cape gooseberry has been out here all winter on the veranda. There's new growth coming up there. So as soon as these fruits have ripened, I will cut them back to the new growth and let those follow through. They're still flowers. They're still flowers, so... And this Cape gooseberry is 4 years old. Herbaceous perennial, really, but this year seems to have been evergreen. Maybe it's just because it's in a good spot. Yeah, and I still have some chard or American spinach growing over there, still fresh. Yay! Oh, and the pinks are starting to come back. They look awful, but there's new growth on there. Oh, these poor, I think these are greyhound cabbages. They should be in. Maybe I'll put them in the ground now quickly. This has been tidied up. Things placed where I want them. Tidied up a bit more there, and I've harvested some beetroot. I'm going to cook them to see if they're woody or if they're edible, because if they're edible, if they're still tender enough to eat, that would be a miracle in my garden. But then the soil level is much lower, so maybe the height of the bed above the soil has given it a bit more shelter. Who knows? Another one of my cabbages, or rather that I didn't chop this one. This one was the slugs that chopped that one back. But it's growing again, so I just need to stay on top of keeping it tidy and removing slugs and snails. Lovely jubbly. Leeks in the window box. It could be garlic, giant garlic, I can't remember. We'll soon find out, but I eat the leaves anyway, harvest them. I have dug up the aquilegia that have sprouted in this bed, and as they grow a bit more, I want them more established, and I will put them in the front garden. I've put a couple in tubs along there because I want some more cottage garden flowers in the back garden. Yeah, the Savoy are still doing okay. Probably need to stake and support them, keep them off the ground as they lollop about like that one. I've kept the self-heal in, and these Russian kale I've just put in because they were in a tiny pot, restricted, but they seem to be doing so well with the herb robert around their roots, so I have left it around the roots because, you know, they've survived the entire winter. It's been extremely wet and they're not dead from slug damage or snail damage. So I don't know if the herb robert keeps the slugs and snails away or if it just keeps it going. Who knows? The self-heal I'm keeping there because both the herb robert and the self-heal I use for herbal medicine anyway, for teas. So they're staying. They're a crop. They're not a weed in my garden. And the leek seems to be quite happy there with it by the roots. Yeah, and it looks lovely. Yeah, so some weeds have a job to do, and I deliberately put them places to do that job. It's covering the ground. The self-heal is a carpeting plant anyway. So as long as that is in there, it's keeping the soil from too much sunshine and evaporation. So protecting the soil then, that has a job to do. We have also bought 2 new roses, climbers. I wanted ramblers, but we'll have to settle for climbers. Well, one for a belated Valentine's gift for the both of us, from us, and one for hubby's birthday from both of us. We just buy stuff for the garden for special occasions. And a Japanese wineberry. I've been wanting one of those for a long time, and it's just been something I've put off and put off and put off. So I decided, well, if we're getting the roses, we might as well get the Japanese wineberry at the same time. Where'll I put you for now? Let's put you here for now. So I think that is going to have to go in a big pot somewhere for now. Because just like kiwi, I think Japanese wineberry can be quite a thug. It says it's only 3 meters by 2 meters, but I have seen wineberry and it can ramble into trees. So if I could put it in the ground there and it'll ramble into the hedge. But we are cutting that back to regain at least 2 foot of our garden space. I love that cypress. The smell on the leaves when they're cut is absolutely gorgeous. But it is just taking over more and more of the garden and cutting out more light. So it has to be tackled a bit. We'll leave the top. It's not our tree actually, it's the neighbours. But you can see where the fence is. Where the fence is there, it has grown through and taken over into our garden. So we can, legally we can cut it all the way back to the fence. It might look a bit horrible, but we can grow some clematis and other rambling climbers, what have you in there, to pretty it up and give a wind barrier, but at the same time regain some of the ground space there. And those gates are still going to be used in the front garden. Right, time to go out again. Bay is going to flower again soon. This bay is, oh my gosh, this bay tree is, had it since before we moved into this house, had in the other one. It's got to be almost 20 years old, this bay, and it stayed small because it's in a pot, but it looks healthy enough still. And I always let it flower and do its thing. So yep, that's still happy. Oh my gosh, yeah, we need to sort out the plumbing on those water butts. It has made rivers in this garden. Ooh, what's been happening in here lately? Because I haven't even checked. Still got some swede in there. That red cabbage has got new sprouts, so if it gives me seeds, that's fine. Another swede here. Oh, the blueberries. Hang on. The blueberries have got some new buds on, as have the black currants. Lovely, lovely. Wonderful. There you go. Okay, so that's a quick update for you on the garden. Oh, I think while I'm here, I'm also going to take some of this thyme to put in with tonight's slow cooker soup. I've got so much going on for the rest of this day today that I just thought this morning I was going to preempt it and stick some veggie soup with barley in the and some soy mince chunks in the slow cooker. So that's what we're having for supper, and I might just steam some of these to go with on the side, or maybe a cheeky unhealthy battering with some seasonings and sesame seeds in the batter, and yum. That might be very nice, actually. I think that's what I'm going to do with that. Anyway, so I mean, they'll stay in a plastic bag or tub with some paper towel or a cloth, a damp cloth, overnight. They'll last until tomorrow. If you leave this on the counter, they'll wilt before you go to bed tonight. But I'll put them in a tub with some cloth and it'll keep until tomorrow. So I could even have that tomorrow. Yep, and let's hope. These are going to go in the pottage. Let's hope they sprout. Right, folks? Oh, that Aquilegia also has got to come out and go in the front garden, because that's a very well established one. Oh, and I've still got loads of carrots that need pulling up. The slugs have been having a field day. I've been keeping the slugs alive over winter by giving them food. So I do need to take all of these out and use them. There you go. Okay, folks. I'll speak to you again soon. Have a great week. Bye-bye.